Welcome everybody to the Intentional Wreck podcast. Race recap. We had our seventh race of the year in the Monster Mile, Dover, Delaware, and for the first time, I'm joined by somebody else on this broadcast video. The driver of the 8 car, Warm Snugs, call him Snugs, and he won this race. So yeah, before we get going, before we get to see everything in 4K, what was your perspective of this race like?
I mean, it was a tough time. I mean, the bumps were hard to traverse, especially in the early going. Not having adjustments to stock setup can get extremely tight if you overshoot a corner. Just had to try to stay out of trouble. Keep up the speed. Try to keep up with the people I know who had speed. Dents was fast in the practice races all week. Plasic was pretty fast all week. Corey was fast all week.
Yeah, I agree. I
Just had
think
to try to keep up with them.
Yeah, I think really, I mean, part of that, you look at this group that qualified, Dents on the pole, you outside, pole, Plasic here, Corey, like this was, and we're going to start with this racing and kind of see how this goes. So let's just, kind of hit play here and let it go green. Trying to see how this played out. This first stage, 30 laps, everybody needed to make a conscious decision, speed or fuel. And you guys up in the front don't really get that chance because everybody's breathing down your necks immediately here. As we got Plasic on board. Plasic, a guy who I really feel like deserves a win, has one soon. What were you thinking early in this race here going underneath?
To be honest, I knew it wasn't going to work, just because the low line here is very tricky, and for someone like Plasic has been able to make it work.
All week he was able to go low line, wasn't he? In all of a little practice.
Yeah,
Here's Sean Z making his way
I
up to the
couldn't
top four.
I honestly couldn't figure out how he was making speed on the bottom. I tried running it. I think in a perspective later down the race, you'll see me try, but the high lane was just where I felt the car stuck better, and for somehow, some way, Plasic was finding speed, especially after adjustments.
Yeah, as you can kind of see here, is already starting to fall a little bit back and go. But I mean, for the most part, you guys single filed out really quick. Shanzi, you'll see he does not make an appearance this week in the power rankings, replaced by somebody else. But I don't think that's really a skill thing. I think it's just, that 10th position of power rankings. There's like 7 guys worth that level. But Shanzi had a solid start to this race. If you heard him bitching throughout the race, you would have never thought that he would have ended up third this early in the race, but a clean 4 laps up front. Let's go take a look at the chaos in the rear of the field. All right, we're on board. Start of this race, the old 42 car. As we get into that first turn, and of course, as you can see, a spinner ahead, JTB Blazer, a little off speed. I didn't know what to do. Actually, this isn't even. Let's get what happened when we went green. I love this. No panic. Everybody good? Yep. Immediate. Somebody's in the wall. I didn't know what to do. I just went low. Just throttle it through those guys. I will say this. After this, things got a little bit clearer. I think like Monk here was struggling, and Meatballs is also struggling with what I had, which was that being stuck at 150. I think a couple guys weren't paying attention to the announcements. And as you can see, outside of you guys in the front, this is where you see the practice mattering. um, but once this kind of fleshed itself out and everybody got their nose pointed straight, I felt like it was some solid racing here in the race one. So, yeah, this is just really chaos. The 43 in particular was extremely fast through the field. Here's another on board I want to look at, and that's JJ Franken, who ended up finishing third in this race. Let's take us on board here, Snugs, with the 38 car. Starting P16. Of course, it's shaky. There it is.
It seems just like a lot of
4 wide
figuring out
call
which
there.
lanes to go. 4 wide, getting pushed up. And see, that's the thing that's tricky about this, is that turn 4 can be extremely tight if you enter it in just
Right.
a minuscule the wrong way. it'll
Yeah, he's
definitely send you up into that wall.
yeah, Frank real tight early again. Finished P3 in this race. I didn't see him in too many of the practice sessions, so we'll just have to check in and see, where was he throughout the stages. Was it one of those kind of fumbled up to the front, or did he end up finding some speed here? Kind of trapped behind this 41, who's a little slow on exit.
I
Frank
mean,
and
I will
yeah,
say
go.
that he was pretty fast in some of the races that we were in, but I think JJ was actually trying to do the fuel saving thing a lot. That's what he was practicing on mainly during our
There's a
practice sessions
there's
here.
a there's a downshift there, so interesting to see. I think I was in fifth the whole time. No plans on downshifting. But you're right. Like this first stage was really um, came down to it. Came down to staying out of the mess so you don't get turned and spun and losing a lap, and then the rest of it was just working your way up through the field here. As I want to go on board the 24 here, and let's go find the 24 here on lap 5 and see. He's right in front of JJ. How his experience is going. So on board with the 24. New streamer this week. I think you're right. I think what's interesting enough. If you played this part of the race patient, you actually would have been fine. Everybody would have been fine on fuel had it gone the distance. I think that's already the 43. So the 43 there in front of this group had already worked his way all the way up through the pack from the rear to be in the top 10. There's Shanzi having the worst day of his life, as he said. But for the most part, through this first stage, it just seemed like everybody was. It felt like really good racing, didn't it?
Definitely when the space was able to be established, it definitely felt good. I mean, racing once the top 5 or 6, and even when I think I got shuffled back, I think it was stage 2 or stage 3, I got shuffled back to 12th. Once the space I actually think you were behind me when we both kind of got shuffled back. When the space kind of finally established, it went pretty smooth. I think the biggest thing is Dover is a rhythm track.
Yeah.
It's it's a bigger Bristol. I mean, same surface,
This is a good
not
battle here
ideal
between these
banking.
two. Little throttle
And
being
see,
plenty of space
that's
given.
another thing of being able to hold the bottom.
Shanzi up on the wall there, but honestly, I don't think the 24 could have given him more room at Dover, doing the best he can. Um, for a battle for P12. So, you at this point were winning this race. Let's go find you around lap 13, 14. You passed Dents for the lead? Or let's see.
Yeah, I think he got up in the wall.
Yeah, let's go see that early battle for the lead here. Here it is. So you guys got strung out here. This is lap 3, so you must have passed him fairly early. This looks like Shanzi right behind you. Shanzi had a day to get up to third that quick, and then the last time we saw him, he was back there falling like a rock, fighting the 24 for P12. You gotta think what happened. Did he get caught up in some nonsense? Did somebody hit him? Did he kind of fall off a little bit? Oh, there it is. So a little pinch of the wall there. All right, you lift out of that. Yeah, he's just dedicated to that high lane. There it is. Yep. Good stuff there. You not entering low, making him feel like he has to stay high, and a clean pass for the lead early.
I think it was.
So let's go on board here. Plasic is thinking here, looking at that pit strategy, probably waiting to hit a front stretch to make an adjustment. He's got 4 tires and fuel lined up. Let's see what happens here. Is he trying to get down pit road? No, definitely not trying to make the corner there. Oh, big, almost caught. This is the battle for P3. Oh, I think he's just saving fuel.
Yeah, saving fuel at this point in time was very beneficial. I was trying to save, and Hunwee was just, I don't know where he found speed. He must have found a power up
Did he come up and
I
did
went
he
through the
pass
main
you
track.
on speed?
Oh yeah, he blew by me.
Okay, we'll go find that in a second. I'm curious to see what happened here. You're down to third at this point. The 34 gamer tags. Oh, a wall hit. Oh no, he just catches him. Is this the caution? And
Yeah, I
this
believe this.
is the caution. So, all right. So Corey had passed you, and Hun Wee had passed. So Corey's leading here, and I'm not sure everybody pit. No, this is definitely where everybody pit, right? I can't remember who would all pit, but I know the end of the stage, I made a decision to pit, and I was P12 here with yeah. So a lot of these guys had decided not to pit. So here's my on board of this restart. I don't know if you caught this, but immediately Corey gets spun, and I want to point this out because obviously there's, and we're gonna see here soon. We're getting through the fun part now. We're gonna be analyzing some wrecks and having our different opinions and stuff like that. I think this is a little bit of Corey's fault, and I'm gonna say this: we're on the outside lane. You can see where I'm kind of split. You can see Jeff kind of high, and I get that we're going, but I think he's just a little too low here. You know, he's really squeezing that bottom lane. The one's trying to get up to speed. And I think the one even streams, so technically we could go find that. But I think Corey needs to be here. The fact that his car's there is the reason why he kind of got hooked. So knowing,
Definitely looks like a wheel not centered thing.
right. Hold on one second. All right, so sorry about that. It's a quick pause. But yeah, so I know I'm on the freshest tires. I know we've got 3 laps. I shoot the gap here on the 11. I know I said don't go 3 wide, and I take the 11 and space-time jumper 3 wide. And look at this. I'm seeing you guys and watch you guys. Everybody washes up. Oh my goodness. This was. I was so ready, but the stage I did. I was about to pass Ollie on the bottom of tires. I was so hyped. But that. There's Hun Wee with the win. You get P2. And what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, if the caution don't come out, I think we got a big one coming out of 4 for sure. I mean, everyone washed up. I know I got tight. I entered the corner in way too fast.
Yeah, and just
and I think everyone kind of did the same thing. I mean, we're coming to stage end.
Yeah, little strategy call, try to make a win, and Hun Wee ends up winning his first stage of the year. So shout out to him. Let's go on board of you here for the start of this stage 2. You've got the 51, the 41, and the 9 guys that maybe aren't used to being up in that top 5. Placek, who out there's leading this race? Is that Fat Randy leading this thing? Oh man, that's
don't
41.
quite remember who's up here.
Oh man, a big turn. Oh, Placek gets caught in that. Shall we go look at that? Let's go find that wreck. Placek infamously turned last week on the final lap, didn't he? All right, this is after his restart. Yep, 22 is all sideways. So it's AZ Italian. So coming back this week, 0-4. I think he just kind of he just gets tight, and he's not clear. And dang, hate that for the 22, who again so much speed.
A win's definitely coming his way.
Oh, he's so fast. Let's go on board.
He...
The restart. Big checkups. The one's up in the wall. This is chaos.
Yeah, I can definitely say I was pretty blessed to not be in the back.
Dude,
although it would have been pretty fun.
Oof, a big flap. Is that me? Oh god, that's me flying up the track like a dipshit. Let's make fun of me. Forgot. Yeah, I hit the apron there and it shot me tight as hell. My bad to the 72. Oh, this is when I was stuck behind Meatball because he was at 150 miles an hour. Yeah. Well, not there. There was a bit of a gaggle there. That's on me. And then I was like stuck in the middle trying to get around him, and he's 10 miles an hour slower than everybody. And I was just like, I need to just. I let Playsick know, dude, I'm 3 wide. I ain't got nothing. And then again, you see, he's just so much slower than everybody. The 423. And Playsick, look at that big move on the 43 and the 38. Look at that big 3 wide move.
When you got speed, you use it.
Yeah, that's the downside. Now, that was very smooth of him, and he attacked him at a good spot, but I think the biggest issue is people felt like they were having speed, but really it was just everybody in front of them checking up and being respectful. At this point, you were leading here. Kind of inherited that lead after some chaos, but I mean, look at him. He's running down 9, 10. Just like you mentioned how much faster he was after the adjustments came in, and this is that. Let's go on board JJ Franken a little bit. Battling through just outside the top 10. You see the 43 ahead of him. Oh, Fat Randy gets tight. He gets tight into those two. Top Gun battling it out. Those JTB boys had a rough day. None of them with stage points, and none of them inside the top 20. I think they finished like 21, 22, and 23. So, uncharacteristic day. Normally the JTB boys are a bit more. Man, Franken is tight. That's crazy. Said he finished P3. Look how just much he's having to wheel. Like, he must have figured something out because there's no way he had the speed. I mean, he has got that wheel completely cranked. The biggest thing you can have at this track is that mid-corner rotation, that when you get back on the throttle, it turns the car.
Yeah, I definitely noticed when I did get tight, it was easier to downshift mid-corner.
Mm-hmm.
It would drastically help the car rotate, but I think this is the burden of JJ running the stability just a tick. I mean,
You're absolutely right. He does run that stability, and that makes sense. It's just really hard to get the car intentionally loose or intentionally tight. And as a result, he was doing that. But I mean, what's going on with Fog here? Fog dropping like a rod at your pulse. Let's go see what's going on to him around lap 15. Well, I'm a dipshit, and that footage was of Franken from stage 1. So let's watch JJ Franken stage 2 battling here. I think that's the 43 behind him, 24 in front. This is some tough mid-pack racing. Your stage winner back there right behind him. Look at this. So Dinger gets real tight in the corner. Is that you on the outside? Can't tell. No, I think that's Smoke. Let's go. Uh-oh, we had a yellow. So this is that yellow that came with how much to go on this stage? Roughly 10 laps to go on this stage. And I think now's the time to go on board with myself. Let's see, when did I take... Yeah. Here we go. So, yep, there's a 10 to go caution. And then I took tires. And you poor souls. Actually, no. There's a caution right before this. Here's the restart. So we got about, what are we sitting at? About 10 to go. Oh, this is halfway through the stage, and you guys chose not to take tires. This was chaos. You ever hear that sound where it sounds like something's exploding? Look, Shanzi, poor Shanzi getting sandwiched by the 41. Yeah, this was interesting. Probably the worst track, I'd say, Snugs, for there to be like varying tire strategies. This is a track where you definitely don't want to be making, if you're not fast normally, you don't want to be driving in front of the field with worn tires and not be fast, you know?
that is true because no matter, I mean, the bumps, the humps that come out of 2 and the humps that come out of 4 are just atrocious on worn tires.
Mm-hmm.
The minute that you feel any weight lift, you're either you're gonna tank slap the wall, or you're getting a black flag and smashing into the pit wall. It's one of the two.
So I'm catching you guys pretty quick. We get another caution. And after a set of cautions, we end up with our final green flag run. We'll go on board. We'll stay on board here, the 42. And this is more just nothing you guys could do here. The new tires are going to prevail. I just wanted to point this out, not just because you're here, but just it's important to remember, like, even when battling for a stage win, you made a conscious decision, understanding. So, I got fog, clear. And first, I know I'm gonna eventually get you, and there it is, right there. You know what I'm saying? The mid corner speed, that's the difference, right? I don't need to throw it in there. I actually lift early, knowing I'm gonna be able to pick up throttle a lot harder than you. And this is the decision. Let me take you back to Iowa. You and Top Gun, you know? And were you on the bottom or was he on the bottom? He was on the
I was on
outside.
the
You were
bottom.
on
That
the
was
bottom.
that
Now
was a dark day.
that was a dark day.
That was a dark day.
And now we're seeing a scenario where you realize there's not much you're gonna be able to do. And the only thing you're gonna do is make your finish even worse, because you could see Space Time in P4, Trox in P5, they also have fresh tires. And so just shout out to you here, just letting me go. No need to fight. I think you finished what, P2 this stage?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was definitely trying to push the car a little bit past its limits these last couple of laps.
Yeah,
You'll see it in the rear view how hard I was actually driving into the corner.
yeah, let's go on board the 24 for the end of that stage, you know? We want to highlight the guys that are streaming here. Um, so here's his restart, the 24 machine.
Okay, invisible.
Here's last week's winner. Here's the 24. Now, the 24 does have a stage win this year already, if you guys remember. You weren't around, but he made a fuel strategy call at Michigan in our first race of the year. Man, big lift there. I appreciate him, lifting. This is good racing up here at the front with mixed tires. Here comes the 74. Squeezing that 24 years Hunwee. Oh, it's a little aggressive. And Hunwee pays the price for his own aggression. Oh god, everybody's spinning. I don't know how this stayed green. I mean, I was gonna win the stage regardless, but you could just see how much this new tires. I think maybe 74s may have been the first car with fresh tires outside of myself. Hellseeker.
Yeah, he caught me right before the caution came out. It was a pretty sad moment. I thought I had him, but as soon as the caution came out, he had a bumper in front of me.
Did it end up being a caution, or did it get? Okay, yeah. There was forgot that there was a little wreck prior. So, yours truly wins the stage. Hellseeker P2, your P3. Trox, a very impressive P4 run up there. Fog, Franken, Bumblebee. A lot of new names. King Wolf out there getting some stage points, so strategy calls there. All right, this is where the flaming begins, is it not? Let's look at the start here. Did they forget the pit? Oh, he doesn't press. Oh, he must have hit B.
Yeah, I was wondering what actually happened here because I think this is where me and you got flushed back to I think like about 12th and 13th.
Yeah, I'm 8th. You're 9th. Oh, not the location you want to be here. Plasic on that outside. I don't know if he pit on the caution right before and just saved tire. Again, some guys can make some strategy calls. Anything to be up front. But here, look at it. Trox the 24. Gets stage points, comes out, starts leading some laps. How did I not see it at the 24? Bumblebee fighting next to Corey, who's invisible. Oh, big run by the 19 there. At least Trox got a lap lead. Corey Russell said, I'll take that. Well, everybody's invisible on his screen.
He got that good Wi-Fi. He ain't got to worry about contact.
There at 22. Look at the 34. And the 43. So here come the tires. This is a good
Yeah, I
little
was about to say,
battle.
we're just seeing a tire advantage for sure.
Oof. Lasik a little tight. Let's the 43 to the bottom. Yeah, now see there it is. Like can't pick up mid corner. This is a long 45 laps left in this race. 35? 35. There I go. Let's go on board some of these.
I will say, even though he did that, he still had a pretty good finish, I believe. I think he got saved actually by this caution that was here.
Let's go see if we can find what happened in the wreck. All right, on board here with the 72. Oh, just a contact by Dinger and Deadly. And then let's see here. Oh, no. Avoids his own guy. Oh, this is chaos. The one is on the wall. Let's see what brought out the caution. Shanzi trying to make it work. Oh, the one gets up, destroys somebody. Shanzi destroys. Oh my gosh, this is nuts. This is chaos. I don't even know how to.
Cars 101 back here.
Oh, yeah, Shanzi just throwing that in there. This is, yeah, we have a mix of assortment of tires and a mix of assortment of speed. Oh, he didn't like that. Trucks. Oh no, Trucks getting in it. So maybe Trucks was a part of the wreck. Maybe we would have stayed on that POV for a bit. Fell like a rock. Was leading this race not 7 laps ago. What happens? Space-time jumper. Shanzi, 51. They're 4 wide at Dover and somehow make the corner. Never mind. Shanzi turn, and that's your caution. All right.
So it's a little bit too soon.
All right, what can be done differently? The biggest thing is going to be lifting and staying off throttle. All that you cannot afford to get tied up into people. You have to lift. So obviously, Space Chime didn't know that the 51 was going to get really, really slow with Meatball. It's tough to anticipate that outside guy. So I don't think this is like a blame. It's just at this point they're 4 wide. Then the 24 gets into the 62. And at that point, Shanzi's spinning. So, yeah, that's just chaos at the back of the pack. There's your caution. All right, let's stay on board, Mad Cheeks. Let's see if there's any initial transgressions. The biggest thing, it still is people going 3 wide into the first turn. You know, and also, I'm just going to make a note here, and you know this. When we're talking about practicing, it's not about your top speed, right? Go out there, do practice races, and find out how on throttle you can be for that first turn. Because I think one of the biggest issues is people aren't used to taking that first turn at half speed. Does that make sense? Like on a restart. And what ends up is you end up doing your normal lifting zone. And then when you do your normal lifting zone, like Jeff did here, there's a huge speed disparity. And that's making these guys go, oh, I got to shoot the gap and go 3-ish wide. Just using Jeff as an example there. But we got to practice here. Oh, that's Nick getting destroyed. See if we can find out what happened there. Where even is the 43? Oh, he's on the bottom there. Oh, it was way, way up here. Let's go see if we can find that, yeah? Let's go hunt some wrecks here, why don't we? Lap 73? Oh, that's lap 99. At this point, Snugs, we're hunting wrecks. Dude, I'm literally clicking throughout the race, and all I'm getting is yellows.
I think the last 20 laps were a pit.
He says his recommendation custom? Interesting. Oh, that just changed once he starts changing things? Okay. Okay, I think he was in front of this. Okay. Wherever you hit this point, are you leading this race? No, this is you to the outside, so you wouldn't be the right POV. Where is I on lap 73? Is I in view of what happened to the 43? Zershanzi backwards. So there's Nick there. No, that wasn't Nick. Must have been Bumblebee or something. No, Nick's leading here. Oh, it was after. Okay, it's this direct caution. Okay, let's see this. Yep, that was that wreck that we saw. All right, let's see what happened. I have to mute this so Sean just doesn't rip everybody in my push race video. All right, so Nick's here, the 43. Let's see what happens here. Watch how clean I race everybody. The pinnacle of racing. Oh, big checkup. 41, again, kind of struggling, finding himself in a lot of odd spots. And then he just, yeah, okay, I don't think this is anything other than, again, a big checkup for the 41 there. That brings Nick to shoot the middle. He's got a car to his left. Him and Fat Randy go flying into the wall, and then that's that. Chaos. Damn it, I needed somebody to blame, Snugs.
I think you're out of luck here.
Here's another wreck. Let's see. Oh, is this you? Okay, let's see here. We're battling. We've got the 34 and the 22. 3 wide. You go 4 wide. About to. You're poking your nose. Boom. You come up, clean up the 39. Clean up the 34. Of course, that collects me. Let's go on board with you here. Let's see what you did wrong.
I definitely want to say this is a netcode thing.
Netcode.
And I'm glad I was streaming.
All right, let's go on board here. Let's see if he's to blame. Oh, this is after you've already caused it.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Not egregious. There's nothing really you can do. Let's see if you lifted. Instead of taking 4 wide. You lifted. I'll give you credit. Then you body slammed the 39.
But you see the distance in between the cars.
Get me turned. In 4K. So you and Playsick up the front here. We got what?
I think this is
15 laps to go here in this race. Talk me through the end here.
Oh, this was a headache and a half. Playstick I knew had speed on the bottom. Sadly, with him being first, he had the bottom. And every time that I would get the run, there'd be a caution. Every single time. I'd be at his door, I'd be at his quarter panel, I'd be at his front bumper. There would always be a caution to where he was just a little bit out in front of me.
Listen, credit where it's due. Bumblebee, despite maybe being a little bit shaky on these restarts, the speed's there. I mean, he's got himself up in P3 up front regularly the last couple weeks, so I don't want to, obviously we've seen him get involved with some contact and stuff like that, but he seems to be doing all right. Big contact behind him. Here you're, again, stuck on that outside. Not really stuck. You want to be there, but, doesn't feel good with Corey on the inside. Big run. Playsick, interesting enough, gives you a lot of room. That's interesting. I would have cut your nose off.
And, Playsick could have cut my nose off probably, say, 4 to 5 times probably throughout this last stint. And I give the man props. He didn't race me hard. We made a little contact, bumping and rubbing, but I mean, he allowed me to go to the outside.
Yeah, he's got to wash up in the front of your lane here, yeah, and just tell you, hey, Snugs, you're going low if you want to pass me. Yeah, you get a little bit into him there. Again, he has got to protect that out. I mean, I know he likes that bottom lane, but I think he has got to force you to pass him low there. All right, another restart.
Yeah, he definitely forces me to pass low. I'm definitely not making that pass. I could not make the car stick.
Let's see what your game plan is. There's not a whole lot of game plans here. We got 2 laps to go. The best thing you could do really is just keep him pinned, kind of like how you are. And you get a big run there. You really hurt his exit. Gets good in there. Yeah, it just gets too tight. Go run there. That's now it's play sick on the inside. I think that's 74. On the outside, trying to run you down. Let's see what Hellseeker. He's technically the total points leader now after this race. Man, good momentum, good move. Again, the smart play here is exactly what you're doing. Pin him to the bottom, clean there. Man, risky to be that high in the corner, but you're going to get such a drive off. Listen, you had your best corner of the race. This is your best corner of the whole race. Entering this high and not getting tight into the wall is the best corner of the whole race because it allowed you to kind of diamond it on exit. He really couldn't complete his turn. He is going to throw it in here, but oh, he does say, hold on, we got a little bit of contact. He wanted it. I didn't realize it was that close. And a good finish, nonetheless. Yeah, that was a banger of a finish there by you in the 74.
I give him props. He could have. I think he wanted it bad enough. I think he could have. I think he definitely could have turned me. But I mean, props to him for racing clean throughout the entire finish. So.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, and we kind of talked about it, and this is kind of now for the league to hear is as we're approaching, the midpoint through the season. I think even the first stage at Dover was great. It's just we keep getting jumbled up, and what happens is people aren't allowing themselves to reset mentally and say, "Hey, I should probably relax." So we're looking at various things, and I think one of the leading ideas is, simply put, just not having stage cautions, similar to Coda. And that way, when that first stage ends up lasting, going green and going, and it would normally call the caution and then bunch everybody back up, we're just going to keep racing. It's also going to change fuel strategy up a little bit. So I think I don't know if and when we would make that decision, but I think it's a decision that'll probably be made soon. But I think all in all, there were some highlights there, but again, most of this was just, I get it. Everybody wants to race clean until they're not being raced clean, and then they don't race clean. I get there's frustrations, but I don't think there's a single person in the league that didn't cause contact in this race and possibly ruin somebody else's race. So just encourage everybody watching to reset, have a laugh at the no pun, the monstrosity of that race. Get it? Dover, Monster. And reset and lock in. I'll give you the final word here. 2-time winner and power rankings leader. Warren Lux.
I mean, I think I've said it before. I've said it again. I told Corey, me and Corey talk about it a lot. There is a big difference between being fast and being alone and being fast and being in traffic.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go and run 22. I don't even know what the fastest lap. I think my fastest lap was like a 22.7. You can run 22.7s all you want, but you got to be willing to run that 23.2, that 23.3. Just make your way through traffic, stay patient. I mean, I feel like that's going to be the big kicker at all these tracks.
Yeah.
Fast when you're alone is good. Fast when you're in traffic is better.
I think it's and fast in traffic just means craftiness, understanding that you just have to pass the couple cars in front of you, and then you can get back to going full speed time. I think everybody's just thinking that they're going to run their normal line with traffic around them, and that's just not the case. But that's words of wisdom from your 2-time winner. So thanks for joining me this week, and hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys on the other side of the new year with Charlotte.